news a minute. For fuck's sake, man. Getting fed up with this now. I ain't doing this no more.
Juliet, Margot is at the ICIJ, as we mentioned, and you've been doing this for The Guardian. So how does that work? I mean, after all, there are 150 different media companies all working on Pandora, and that is over 600 journalists. So how are you all coordinating?
Well, we communicate. The main thing is share everything, communicate really thoroughly, really well. Don't keep stuff back. I know that it's in the instinct of many journalists, particularly investigative journalists, to act as lone wolves, but you have to kind of unlearn all that. And it often kicks off with a big gathering where maybe people will be looking at the data for a few weeks, and then we all head off I've been to a couple of big gatherings in Germany. It's like the United Nations of journalism. You have people there from every part of the world, and they are all talking about the same project, and it's a very forceful feeling. And we're like a big family. We come back together each time, and we trust each other. And I couldn't believe when I worked on the first one of these that nobody had kind of tried to get a head start on the rest. And that's because you know that you're just going to have so much more impact when you do it together. It's an international firestorm, and it only works that way because we do it together. And there were moments when information started leaking out because the people we were writing to were trying to get ahead of the game on all these projects and trying to get their side of the story out before we published. And I remember, Gerard, who's the director of the ICIJ, like a sort of general at the front of his troop saying, hold, and then charge, and you'll go down the hill together.
Well, let's get to that. And also, I think I've seen you describe the whole process as being like bashing at a giant piñata, that kind of idea, which I think is a lovely image. But in terms of the timing of publication, you've got some Conservative Party donors and co-chair Ben Elliott. They've all had their financial activities raked over as part of Pandora, and you've managed to publish in the week of the Conservative Party conference. That's not just sheer luck, is it?
Well, it depends. I mean, that worked out well for The Guardian, and we are a really important partner in these investigations because our website is free to access and it's very widely read, and we put a lot of effort into these. So we have some influence over the timing, but it's also to do with how long the project takes. We weren't going to be ready to publish this before the summer, so we were looking at autumn. So we had to pick the best timing for autumn.
Ben Smith from the New York Times. I mean, that's the Pandora Papers, but you've had your own expose of sorts this week. And for listeners who don't know, tell us, what is OZ Media, and how did you come to be writing about it?
Yeah, and I think I should premise this by saying that as high stakes and global and really kind of important as the Pandora Papers were, this is like the lowest stakes story in the history of media. And I actually think that is maybe part of why people liked it so much, and it is sort of a challenge. I worked on the previous ICIJ, like the FinCEN files, and it's hard to get people to engage with those stories, whereas the story I'm about to tell you people really love to engage with, which was about a media company in California that presented itself called Ozzy as this, you know, the leading millennial media company, and even though no one has ever heard of it, essentially, persuaded many of the richest people in the world, and like Lorene Paljaz, and very sophisticated media investors to give them their money, as well as very sophisticated advertisers.
And something in particular, as you say, tipped it over. Something dramatic happened. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were pretending to have a very financially strong relationship with YouTube, when in fact they were making a television show that they just posted to YouTube the way you or I could post a video to YouTube. And so at some point the rubber meets the road when Goldman Sachs, which is about to invest $40 million, wants to talk to YouTube just to kind of check in on how that business is. And they, rather than putting him on a phone with a YouTube executive who will just say, yeah, these are a bunch of guys who upload videos, they impersonate said YouTube executive and say, wow, these Aussie guys are amazing. And they get caught immediately.
I have to say now that Ozzy has admitted to this impersonation incident and attributed to a mental health episode. But
the last detail is it's named after the poem Ozymandias, which the founder, whose message the founder believes is dream big.
And famous also in Breaking Bad, I believe. But Ben, before all this happened, Ozy Media was establishing itself as a major player. It had some big collaborations, and one comes to mind. I work on the World Services Feedback Programme, and there was a lot of praise for a series that Ozy did with the BBC called When Catty Met Carlos. So Ozy, it was an appealing investment, wasn't it, to traditional media companies?
It was an appealing investment to people who had no idea what was going on in the actual world of actual media. I think in part because it presented a kind of diverse, progressive, millennial vibe that had no conflict, no substance, nobody was getting in trouble, they weren't revealing anybody's secret tax hideouts, nothing like that would scare any billionaires or advertisers.
But at the same time, some people would say they identified a market. It wasn't polemical, it wasn't brash, it wasn't polarizing. In some ways, it should work, shouldn't it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. I mean, media that is boring and has no stakes is not traditionally something boring. So.
Well, Alexandra Sulich-Bass from The Economist. I mean, we on the Media Show talk a lot about the need for a friendlier, more thoughtful journalism. But bearing in mind what Ben's just said earlier, is the internet geared up to allow that? Is it actually what people want, do you think?
I mean, I think social media and the internet reflects human beings in society. So I think a lot of people like to point the finger.
That's so fucking stupid.
There is a question about whether or not we should be pointing the finger at ourselves as well. But I think it's certainly much more entertaining political theater to point the finger at Facebook and social media firms for all the problems that we're perceiving on the internet. In terms of Ben's story, I did have one observation. It strikes me that Ozy Media is kind of the Theranos of the digital media space. I mean, it's come down quite quickly. It was a founder that a lot of people wanted to believe in for a variety of reasons, and it kind of played fast and loose, like a lot of startups in Silicon Valley did. So, as I was reading Ben's fascinating coverage, I was having flashbacks to the Wall Street Journal
But just update us. What's the actual state of play right now with Ozy Media?
They shut down on Friday. The CEO then came out on Monday and unshut it down and compared the company to Lazarus, whom Jesus raised from the dead, and are now facing lawsuits from investors who would like them to shut back down and give them back their money, please.
Okay. The reason I asked about this whole notion of what the public is interested in is because that's the kind of, in a sense, worthy journalism that I can argue all four of you do. I mean, Alexandra, from The Economist, Frances Haugen, the former Facebook employee, appeared before the US Senate this week, accusing Facebook of harming democracy and putting profits before public good. Now, obviously, they denied this and have disputed much of what she said, and this all seems like a juicy story. But I want to read you a tweet from veteran Silicon Valley observer Benedict Evans. He says, I really wonder how much any Facebook story now changes anyone's minds. There's a group of people now quite convinced that Facebook is evil, who see any news story as proof, and the rest of us who think it's all just a noisy mess. But you have just published a piece for The Economist pretty much arguing the opposite, haven't you?
So I think congressional hearings into big tech have become a little bit like minor holidays. Nothing changes after them and they all blur together. And so I expected that to be true of yesterday's hearing in which Frances Haugen, the whistleblower, testified about the documents that she's leaked on Facebook's behavior and some of its internal research. I would argue that yesterday's hearing was a turning point. You can make a counterclaim, and history would support that, which is nothing's changed after these hearings before. In some ways, what the whistleblower has shown is what we all already knew about Facebook, which is its two-faced toxicity, and so now we have just new, fresh evidence for it. But I think this time is different for two reasons. The first is that this concerns children and teenagers, and I think that it's much easier to understand the pernicious harms that social media have on kids. If you compare it to the Cambridge Analytica scandal, that it was much more complicated to understand. It involved adults, data mining, privacy concerns. So it was a big deal in the media. I think it resonated less with every person than children, and concerns about children do. And then I think that ultimately this is going to change tech for a different reason, and it will affect Facebook, but it will also affect other tech firms, because I think that this is the start of the golden age of whistleblowing in tech. All these big firms have well, a lot of them have played fast and loose. They haven't grown up in a harsh regulatory climate, and I think there are a lot of employees now that have seen how Frances Haugen has been lionized. She was called a 21st century American hero by several senators, and I think that is going to encourage a lot of people who work at these companies who may feel ambivalent about some of the work that they've contributed to step forward. So I think that this is a big deal for Facebook, and I think that the scrutiny is going to spread to other big tech firms as well. This is just the start.
Okay, because I mean, I could argue that this debate is only this topic is only interesting to media types like and political types like us in a sense, and that perhaps the person in the street really only cares when their WhatsApp and Instagram stop working, as they did this week. And Ben, what's your take on that? Is it a turning point?
I think it's like there's been sort of the waves have been battering the sort of barricades around Facebook for a while, and this does feel like the moment when maybe the water kind of comes over. And in terms of American congressional action, there's a ton of pressure on them, and it's happening at a time when a big part of their business, not the only part, but a big part, which is the Blue Facebook app, clearly is losing traction. And social networks can collapse really fast, and I think that in some ways, you can overestimate their strength as a company, and they're under a lot of pressure right now, and I think it's going to be a challenge for them. I also think there are these big questions that, in part because Facebook is so secretive about its research and doesn't open itself up to researchers, are hard to answer. Like, for instance, are girls struggling with body image more than they did in the 1990s when it was coming from pop culture and from magazines? Like, that is presumably a question that could be answered with research. I'm not sure it's clear, though, right? It's hard to disentangle all the factors, and Facebook makes it extra hard with its secrecy.
And the point that Alex made, which is that this is a turning point because whistleblowers can feel more confident now. Do you think that's true?
I do think employee activism in Silicon Valley and around the world has become just a huge, huge force in corporate life, and the extent to which these CEOs increasingly are constrained by what their employees will accept is something you're seeing here.
Well, whistleblowing, obviously, a massive part of the Pandora Papers story. Juliet Garside from The Guardian. It's obviously worth reporting the story, but it's not a given that people will read it. How do you keep the public hooked is a crucial point, and how do you keep the story alive from one day to the next?
Well, yeah, I agree. Tax offshore structures, it's not usually digestible over your cornflakes. But we're lucky because we're talking about the 1% or the 0.01% here, and some pretty crooked people quite often. So we're, and we're talking about celebrities, and you've got the private jet flying, yacht with helipad chartering oligarchs. So you get a wonderful window into how this global elite live and how they cheat the system. And you get, our readers love it. They love it, they lap it up. That's and they donate when we run these stories because they see why we write them. They see the unfairness. In the UK, the debate about tax was really dominated for years by tabloid stories about people cheating on their benefits, poor people, a cleaner who was claiming benefits and working cash in hand, stuff like that, a builder. And what we've seen through these leaks is that the rich cheat much more, on a baroque scale, and that you can't run that argument anymore about benefits cheats. And you see fully exposed to the extent to which laws are there and politicians vote them in order to enable this kind of behaviour. Now, I don't think a lot has changed, but I would say that the Biden OECD tax plan, which we're going to get an announcement on later in this week, about stopping multinationals shifting profits around the world, is probably in part due to reporting like the Panama Papers.
Okay. But I want to go back to the whole notion of making these stories, if you like, sexy. I mean, again, from my personal experience working on a TV documentary on the Enron scandal, the producer had to come up with some really imaginative visual metaphors to try and keep the viewer engaged and hooked. And Alexandra, I'm sure, in a sense, The Economist has to think hard about this too, keeping the reader hooked.
I think absolutely, and then also when it, I think what unites both of these stories is it confirms things that people already suspected and didn't quite know, and so also how do you everyone assumes that the wealthy and oligarchs kind of bend the rules and own properties and tons of different luxurious territories, and everyone kind of assumes that Facebook chooses profits over consumers and societal welfare. How do you tell what might feel like a familiar story in a new way? I think a lot of it also comes down to the writing, I would like to think, and to a certain extent the framing, so that you remind your readers what is truly new, and why they need to care.
Well, just before we end, let's think about what, if any, impact public interest journalism can actually have. Juliet Garside from The Guardian, will the Pandora Papers actually change anything?
We're waiting for long-promised better transparency in the UK about who owns what land, for example, what property.
And in terms of you, is there a danger with all these stories that the public has a kind of sense of leak fatigue? Do you sense that?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the challenge of stories that confirm what people already knew is that they become somewhat shroud because they're unsurprised. That said, I think there has been a series of ICIJ leaks, of which this is the latest and I think biggest, have really prompted a bunch of legal action, at least in the United States. In the U.S., the Congress, I think based in pretty large part on the FinCEN files, made it much harder to operate through anonymous shell companies. That is a real, meaningful advance. And actually, the relationship between tons of people reading and getting excited about a story and legislative or law enforcement action, not always totally linear, right? Like sometimes you have one reader, but it's the right reader, it's the chairwoman of the committee. So,
Margot, from your perspective, do you think this will lead to real change?
Well, you're already seeing in the US, for example, that lawmakers are pushing an anti-corruption bill called the Enablers Act, which is exactly to do with the fact that ICIJ and its hundreds of partners have reported public interest issues which involve not just the dirty money of individual people, but dirty money which is facilitated across borders by people in suits, the lawyers, the bankers, the PR firms, and yeah, that's already happening. So the impact is there. and often, it's a reminder, as everyone said, like of things that we suspected were happening anyway, but clearly this kind of publication helps to actually improve things.
And all your hard slog has been worth it, is the other aspect of that. Alexandra, last word to you. Do you think that all these revelations actually will change things?
Well, I think that this was absolutely a week that reinforced the power of media. The Facebook whistleblower chose not just to go to the SEC and regulators to report her concerns. She took it to the Wall Street Journal because public scrutiny would force the hand of regulators and potentially lead greater change. So I think that that all of these stories highlight the power and relevance of traditional media.
Well, that is all we've got time for today. Thank you to all my guests, to Juliet Garside, Deputy Business Editor at The Guardian, to Ben Smith, Media Economist at The New York Times, Alexandra Suwich-Bass, Senior Economist at The Economist, and Margot Gibbs, Investigative Reporter at the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. The Media Show will be back at the same time next week. For now, goodbye.
Hello, the weather's a tale of two halves today. After that morning fog, we see the sunshine prevailing across southern and eastern areas, but our weather front further north and west was quite active to start with. The rain is petering out as it eases its way southwards across northern England and Wales, clearing to some late brightness in the north and west, but wherever it is still mild, 17 to 19 degrees Celsius above where there should be temperatures for this time of year. And actually, the weather front, although weakening as it slips southwards, will act like a blanket, so it's not going to be as cool in southern parts overnight. There shouldn't be as much fog, but it's still a risk in southern and eastern areas. Further north and west, clearer skies and a cooler night to come, which sets us up for more sunshine in the north for Sunday, and it should be mainly dry across the UK, but there will be more cloud across southern and eastern areas. Quite a grey start, perhaps some fog first thing. It will gradually clear away, but it drags its heels, that cloud, in southern and eastern areas, and it will be fresher, although very few showers away from the north, that is, where there's a brisk wind, but dry for many.
Join the BBC's global correspondents for a special series looking at the big issues facing our planet, as well as the latest technological solutions. In the run-up to the climate conference in Glasgow, we'll explore what climate change means for you.
Countdown to COP26. Tonight at 7:30 on the BBC News Channel.
Join Dr. James Fox and a team of experts on a global journey as they seek to uncover our ever-changing relationship with nature through art.
Art has that capability to express what people are feeling.
Artists have played a vital role, not only in reflecting, but in shaping our attitudes to nature.
Nature and Us, a history through art. Starts Monday at 9 on BBC4 and iPlayer.
News, I'm Vanessa Burak. The headlines at 6. Pressure grows on the government to help businesses facing soaring energy bills, as some of its own MPs join industry bosses in asking for support. The Education Secretary vows to tackle persistent pupil absences head-on, describing it as a key priority. US officials have held their first face-to-face talks with the Taliban since they took power in Afghanistan. Women travelling home alone could soon be offered protection from a free mobile phone app. Campaigners say it doesn't go far enough.
I don't think that that's the way forward at all. I mean, it's not that I don't support it, it's that I don't think that that's going to help with ending male violence against women and girls, such as, for example, making misogyny a hate crime.
Environmentalist Chris Packer joins activists at Buckingham Palace urging the royal family to return their land to its natural state. And coming up in Sports Day at 6:30, Emma Raducanu loses her first match since winning the US Open, beaten in straight sets. More coming up. Good evening and welcome to BBC News. There's growing pressure on the government to intervene to support heavy industry struggling with soaring energy costs. Some Conservative MPs have now joined Labour in calling for ministers to provide financial help, with the British Chambers of Commerce describing the situation as dire for some small and medium-sized firms. Here's our business correspondent, Katie Prescott.
Our biggest customer is Ocado.
Brewing broth. These gas pans are simmering 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's little this business can do to cut its energy usage. Bills recently have been painful.
Energy prices going up is not what we need. My overheads are already extremely high as it is. And it's a concern. It's a deep concern about the viability of the business, and I don't want to pass that cost on to our customers. I'll do everything I can to avoid that.
Businesses don't have the cushion of an energy price cap. They tend to fix their bills a year or two in advance. So for those whose contracts are coming to an end at the moment, it's a really painful time. And it's even worse for companies like this one, who don't have those contracts, pay their energy bills on a 3-monthly metered basis.
Steel, chemicals, industries with the heaviest energy consumption in the UK are seeing costs rocketing. To keep the furnaces burning, they're crying out for government support.
Absolutely, right now, gas prices are at an unprecedented level, and the businesses that manufacture the goods that we need are trying to operate under these unprecedented conditions.
And they're backed by some Conservative MPs representing industrial areas.
They need government support, either in direct support or a cap on their energy prices to allow them to continue in business. And it would be ludicrous that we would lose these high energy intensive businesses that we need for our economy.
But so far that support isn't forthcoming. The government says it's in regular contact with business groups to explore ways to manage the impact of rising global prices, and that this underscores the importance of building a strong, homegrown renewable energy sector to further reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. For now, though, businesses like this, facing a transport crunch and rising taxes, would like to see limits on how much they have to pay.
I'm doing everything I can to keep this business running. The last thing we need now is sky-high energy bills to top that.
Katie Prescott, BBC News.
Okay, let's speak to the Labour MP and Shadow Minister for Business and Consumers, Seema Malhotra. Thank you for joining us here on BBC News. So what's Labour's take on this?
Well, firstly, I think this is another example of where every day seems to bring new chaos and concerns from a government that has failed utterly to plan ahead. And the package was absolutely right. Businesses are facing crippling rises in costs at the time that they're seeing other real pressures continue, whether that's with supply of materials or shortage of staff and shortage of skills. We think it's absolutely vital that the government does listen to this call for a winter plan from the British Chamber of Commerce, because what's clear is that without proper support and forward planning, things are going to get harder for businesses, not easier. And we need our businesses to get through this difficult time of recovery from the pandemic, because if businesses don't survive, then that also is going to mean that jobs are at risk, and it's going to hit family incomes much harder. We've already seen this chaos hit family energy prices. Last week, seeing that £139 increase with the price cap going up. What we need to see is a proper plan that's going to make sure that we've got the long-term, secure and affordable energy that families and businesses need.
Well, as Shadow Business Minister, what would your plan be?
Well, one of the things that we also called for is around transition. So this is to make sure that businesses are robust and able to face some of the other challenges ahead and investment in business. But this has got to be part of a wider plan. Your story also talked about renewables as well. And look, when we look at what's happened with our energy in the UK, we've seen resilience reduced over the last 10 years. We actually have national domestic gas storage being 2% rather than the sort of 25 or 30% that other countries have. We've seen onshore energy be blocked.
Mrs. Malhotra, I understand all that, but that's looking quite long term. A lot of businesses will be thinking, I get that, and in 5-10 years, that will work for me. I'm trying to get to Christmas. So, Stephen Kinnock has said, he looks after Port Talbot, and he says that the UK government should look at a range of options. I don't know if you've spoken to him. What are those options?
You're absolutely right, and there does need to be a range of options. And you'll note from the British Chamber of Commerce in their plan today that the cap was just one of many proposals. There needs to be other options, whether that's a task force to look at this, to address the issue now, how that's done fairly, whether we can also look at more in terms of how we can support a foundation industry like steel. This has been an ongoing issue. It hasn't just come out of nowhere. And this is where we want to see the government come forward with a proper plan. We're ready to work with the government on what needs to be done, and we want to see the government working with industry. It is, I think, a real disappointment.
Big moment now, because we're going to go back to the bonus board. I don't know what square you're going to remove, but good luck. Okay, let's take that away. Go on, Helen.
Mayfield General.
Yeah! She knows her stuff. Right, wow. So, Cammy is on £500. John is on £900. Helen, way in the lead at the moment, and it can all change, but she's in the lead with £2,800. Right, it is time for the next round, and this could have you standing taller than Peter Crouch in 6-inch heels. Because from now on, each catchphrase is worth £300, and the bonus is worth a very nice £1,500. Good luck all, let's bring on the next catchphrase. Right, you've got to get this. There's your clue now. Helen.
He's getting the hairdryer treatment.
He certainly is. Right, let's go back to the bonus board, please. Remember, it's worth £1,500. A great amount of money for any charity. Helen, remove the square. You love that top right-hand corner. Let's take a look. What's behind it? No. Okay, right. Fingers back on your buzzers. £300 up for grabs with this one. There it is. Come on, who's going to get it?
Kickboxing.
Oh, John went for it, but Helen just beat him to it.
Box in the box.
It's the box in the box. Box in the box indeed. Right, back to the bonus board now. Another square to be removed. What we got here? Oh, that's not going to help, is it? Okay, all back in play once again. Let's see our next catchphrase.
Virgo.
Right, the clue is about... There it is. What is that? What is he? Helen.
Is he an undercover officer?
He certainly is. We'll accept that. Back to the bonus board again for the third time for Helen. What we got here?
Is it flying off the shelves?
She's only got to get it. Please. Yes, flying off the shelves. How about that? Wow, I tell you something, this is incredible. So let's take a little look. Cammy is on £500,
Johnny's on £900. Helen on £5,200. When we come back, we'll find out which one of these three is our man or woman of the match. Who will be going through to the final to try and win that £50,000 for their charity? See you in a moment.
Engineered to entertain. Super Hybrid Mattress sponsors Celebrity Catchphrase. On Monday, the 18th of October on ITV and ITV Hub.
Oh, yeah,
That's
okay.
No witnesses, no forensics, no motive.
You know the worldly aren't supposed to mourn with us.
I think you would want to meet it. It took courage to do what you did. Go and make your own way.
I wasn't welcome here.
We had to leave the church, of course. Nobody ever said you had to leave your family. The world is a dangerous place.
Anything? Do you think she said it?
I don't know, Rick.
Where she said it?
I promise you, we will find out.
Oh, going out with Sean and doing somewhere for her. Especially what happened to her fucking husband. Every series fucking pissed off with it.
This October on ITV and ITV Hub.
I don't know what it's fucking working, but
Super Hybrid Mattress sponsors Celebrity Catchphrase.
Welcome back to World Cup Catchphrase, where John, Helen and Cammy have had a half-time orange and a rock-down. They're now back to play for that massive £50,000. So, Cammy, how have you found it so far compared to last time?
Pretty much the same.
Cammy, what sort of money would you love to walk away with for your charity tonight?
£1,000 Marie Curie will do me.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about you, John? Any more nerves, or are you just trying to crack on now?
No, I'm just much more relaxed now.
Helen, you must be very confident that you are going to make it to the Super Catchphrase. Come on.
I'm not confident. I've watched this enough to know that the £500 round can change everything.
You're not watching it with people like me and Cammy, though, I'll be honest.
Well, do you know what? It's time for that round right now, and as you say, anything could happen. Right, it's a quick fire round from now on.
I'm not pressing this one.
Right, it is time for the quick fire round. From now on, as Helen's just said, every correct answer is worth £500 and you can buzz in as often as you like. Just keep pressing and guessing until you get it right, because one of you will be going through to pay for that £50,000 at the end of this round. Right, here we go. Let's do it. Bring on the next catchphrase. Keep pressing and guessing. Always worth a shot. It's worth a guess. You can't be frozen out. John. No, it's not take one. Let's carry on. Think about what he's holding and what he's measuring. Helen.
How long is a piece of string?
You got it right.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Let's have another £500 catchphrase. Come on, let's get through a load of these. Oh, what's the difference there? The clue's on the screen, but what does it mean? Cammy.
Fair weather supports.
Yes! for the fan, except both are gold. Harry, well, look, you've already got now your £1,000. See ya. Yeah. Come on, John. Who's going to get this one? You're about to find out. Think about what Mr. Chips is doing now. And what's the parrot doing as well? Think about what he's holding, Helen.
Oh, is he shaking his tail feather?
He certainly is. Wow, really, this is good. Right, another £500 up for grabs. What are they? A football phrase that you all know. You'll see one of these at the World Cup. When all the strong teams are in one place. Helen.
The group of death.
It certainly is. It's so frustrating, isn't it, John? You know the answer, but you just can't see it.
That's what I can see at the end.
Yes, always the way. Right, another £500. Who's going to take this? And there's your clue.
Level pegging. Level pegging. Level pegging.
Cammy. Level pegging. Oh, beautiful. Nice touch. Come on, John. Try and get this one. Right, what has he just done? What's Mr. Chips just done to those? Cammy.
On the dogs.
Oh, it's not phone the dogs. No.
Oh, no, I know it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Right, you need to get in quick as soon as it starts to play. Helen.
Call the dogs off.
Yes! Did you know it, John? Yes. Come on, who's going to get this one? Get ready. There's your clue, look. Think about what that is on the right and what this guy's doing on the left. Cammy.
Push money.
It certainly is. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Oh! Can you believe it? That is it. Right, we need to take a look at your winnings at the end of that round. John, you are on £900. Still a lovely amount of money for any charity. Just remind us, where is it going?
The Jamaica Basic School campus.
Brilliant stuff. £2,000, and it's going to...
It's going to Marie Curie!
Yeah! So Helen has gone past one, gone past two, and she's through on goal. After the break, she's going to take on the super catchphrase, and I reckon she could be the first £50,000 celebrity winner. Find out if she can do it in just a bit.
Engineered to entertain. Simba Hybrid Mattress sponsors Celebrity Catchphrase.
What's wrong with most anyone? Hold on. We're on my little cherry pictures at school.
What's the number of children? No more?
Plenty of time, give us a chance.
Woody?
A village is alive, and you think they've said everything to you. But there's always more. More stories, secrets, weirdness, joy.
Brigadier! Help me cook some dinner.
And you heard the man of Ada. Shall I compare thee to a salmon pack? Here you go, Bob. You're a toe rag like your dad. Right, pack it in.
I can see I'm going to have to watch myself around you, Larkins.
There's love what gets us out of bed in the morning.
Fall in love with the Larkins. Brand new drama. Starts tomorrow at 8 on ITV and ITV Hub.
It's the same, man.
Alex, what do you think went wrong tonight?
The victim's a ruthless billionaire football club owner who's bled the place dry.
So we're looking for David Beckham?
That doesn't make any sense, Gary.
It was a joke, Alex. I'm the king of friendly banter. Right, viewers? Wow.
I'd like to apologise. I said I had a meeting with Dominic Raab. I actually met with Johnson. I didn't mean to cause any offence, but all Tories look the same to me.
Brand new Spinach, streaming every Saturday, only on Britbox.
Our Change and Check campaign is reaching new heights. With a team of survivors taking on this challenge, we're continuing our mission to check books and see flights. One death is diagnosed every 10 minutes in the UK, with possible cases undiagnosed because of delays and waitlists. So join us for Change and Check, because together we can make a difference. This October on the Rain.
Yeah.
Engineered to entertain.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. That's fine, yeah. Yeah, fine, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Welcome back to World Cup catchphrase.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one from Trago.
About to take a shot at £50,000 for her charity.
Oh, yeah.
During the outbreak. You were so nervous.
That's all right.
You got from being cool as a cucumber.
I
Yeah.
was not cool as a cucumber.
No.
Really? No, not at all. Stephen?
Okay, then.
Terrified.
Keith.
I didn't even wear my good shoes because I didn't think I'd have to come out from around the podium.
Well, I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, I got on there, yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, fine,
Tell
yeah.
me about your charity.
Okay, Chimney Farm
Yeah,
International Dog
it's
Rescue.
not too bad.
They're a little small local charity that I found when I help them out fostering some dogs, and I do a lot of fundraising for them. But they're a small charity. They were based in Guildford, and what's nice about this money is
Oh,
they
so
just
that I've
help
got
to relocate. So
my
this money's
things
really
up to the
really
18th.
building lots of kennels and helping lots of pooches.
Yeah.
And I've got 5 dogs, Stephen. I just can't help them.
Yeah.
Let's quickly remind you
Okay.
and of course, Helen, of how it works.
Okay, bye.
This pyramid is
Bye.
made up of 15 numbered squares. Behind each square is a catchphrase. You've got just 60 seconds to get from the bottom to the top, but you can only move up a level once you've got the catchphrase right from the line that you're on. Now, of course, it does get tougher the higher up you go, but the good news is the money goes up as well. Make it to the top and answer the super catchphrase and you'll walk away with that £50,000. Now, you'll notice square number 11 is starred. If you get that one right, we'll double the money that was won by John and Cammy earlier on. So now you're not just playing for your charity, you're playing for their charity too. No added pressure. Remember, just say what you see and just keep on guessing. If you get stuck, just say pass and we can always go back, alright?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No.
Best of luck. You've only got 60 seconds to wait. And those 60 seconds will start when you select your first number from the bottom row. 2. Here we go.
Thunderclap.
Correct.
7. Running on exhaust fumes. Running on fumes.
Correct.
11. Jumpers for goalposts.
Correct.
14.
I get 60 seconds, that's not enough.
Pass. 13.
You won £10,000.
Well done.
Listen, you've got nothing to apologise about at all. £10,000 is a lot of money. I tell you what, it just shows. I did say to you during the outbreak that I genuinely thought you were going to get to the very top. But listen, who cares now? You've got £10,000 for your charity. We'll add it all up in a minute. let's just go back on number 30, because I know you like to get the answer home as well, to see if you were right. Let your guard down.
Oh, okay.
And then number 14, this is the one that really stumps on. A lot on his plate.
See, I feel better. They didn't know it either. Just normally they all go, they went, ooh.
Well, listen, Heather, you are taking away £7,200 that you had in the bank earlier on. Now that massive £10,000 takes your prize total for your charity to £17,200. Taking away £1,800, Cammy, you're going away with £4,000 charity. Murray Fury, John.
Jamaica Business Foundation.
Chimney Farm Dog Rescue.
You've all been unbelievable. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
God One brings a bit of glamour to your weekday afternoons here on ITV with his brand new series Bling starting Monday at 2. Gareth's men will be hoping for another 3 points in the bag from their next World Cup qualifier tonight. Andorra versus England coming up live at 7. After we catch up with the latest news, here next.
Simba Hybrid Mattress sponsors Celebrity Catchphrase.
There's a little slice of history being made in Andorra tonight as an all-female lineup of officials take charge of England's men's team for the first time ever. Our lineup of Roy Keane, Ian Wright and Jermaine Defoe will be ready to go from 7 for Andorra, England in a World Cup qualifier here on ITV.
Now a look at the stories making the headlines this Saturday with the very latest ITV News.
Bring back bubbles. Teaching union says surging COVID cases in schools means secondary pupils must return to wearing masks and social distancing.
We are concerned that there is going to be a lot more disruption to education unless we get in place some mitigations that can stop the virus spreading.
Also on the programme, businesses ask the government for their own energy price cap. The BT boss who wants to protect women walking alone through their phones.
Alexandra Sasnovich is the party pooper.
And the spell is broken. Emma Raducanu loses her first match since the US Open, but isn't too upset.
You can easily get sucked into just being so focused on the result and getting disappointed, but I mean, I'm 18 years old, I need to cut myself some slack.
This is ITV News with Duncan Golestani.
Good evening. They've not even completed one half term of the new school year, but already there are calls for secondary school pupils in England to return to the masks, bubbles and one-way systems that they endured last term. COVID infections amongst school years 7 to 11 are surging, prompting 5 teaching unions to write to the new Education Secretary, Dean Zahawi, today. They've asked him to reimpose tougher anti-infection measures now to prevent more disruption in the winter ahead. The Economy reports.
For Peterborough College students, masks have been compulsory in communal areas since the second week of term. Now, teaching unions are calling for such measures to be brought in across all English secondary schools.
Like if someone had COVID, if he didn't wear a mask, one cough, everyone could get it in a vicinity of the area. So masks definitely help.
Even though we have to wear a mask, but education is better than being online because you can get more help from the teachers and stuff.
In England in recent weeks, the proportion of those estimated to have COVID among most age groups has remained relatively flat. But those in school years 7 to 11 have seen a large rise in positive cases, up to more than 8%.
200,000 children a day off school because of COVID, and the rates are still increasing. So we are concerned that there is going to be a lot more disruption to education unless we get in place some mitigations that can stop the virus spreading.
The Education Secretary, Nadine Zahawi, says children could have to wear masks in English schools if the COVID situation deteriorates significantly. He signalled his opposition to reinstating bubbles. Figures released on Thursday showed that just 9% of secondary school pupils had been vaccinated by last Sunday. With some schools reporting delays in the rollout, experts say infection rates are rising faster than vaccinations can offer protection.
You have a group in the population that is still very susceptible to this virus, and it is young people, because they're not protected by vaccines, and also there's more that we could do to make the school environment safe. It is worrying. I think it will level off. The reason I say that is because that is exactly what has happened in Scotland.
For students, parents and teachers, the weeks ahead will be crucial in determining what happens next on COVID and what it means for schools. Neil Connery, ITV News.
The UK's largest business group has called for an energy price cap for medium and small businesses. The British Chambers of Commerce says many of their members need immediate help to give them confidence to keep trading as normal while energy prices soar. And they say a cap on prices, similar to the one in place for households, could be the answer. Here's our political reporter, Shihab Khan.
As the cost of gas and electricity continues to rise around the world, businesses up and down the country will be concerned about the consequences. For the Lord Guest Hotel near Gatwick, energy usage tends to be high, and Kasim Suhail, the hotel manager, says any increase in their bills would hit them hard.
It will start to become unsustainable. We'll have to have a later check-in time so that we can accommodate, the heating being turned on later, or an earlier checkout time, so that we can restrict the amount of time that the central heating is on for. But obviously, for us, number one is to make sure that our guests are comfortable.
Small and medium-sized businesses mostly buy their energy in advance, but for those whose contracts are due for renewal soon, they could see a spike in costs. That's why the British Chamber of Commerce is now calling for an energy price cap for businesses to try and mitigate any pain. That intervention comes the day after big business leaders from sectors which depend on affordable energy warned the government that some factories could be weeks away from closing.
If nothing changes in the next 2 to 3 weeks, then there will be more companies that will be pausing or shutting production, I'm sure of that.
Representatives from steel, paper, glass and ceramics have all raised similar worries, and they say the government urgently needs to find a long-term solution.
This willful complacency that has got us to where we are has got to change. The government's got to get a grip, and we need to see some long-term investment, some real plans, and working with business on those issues and how to address them in the long term.
As the crisis goes on, the government says it is listening to and working with businesses to explore ways to manage the impact of this crisis.
Shihab, those businesses that are in trouble, how likely is it they'll get that cap?
What we know is that the government is liaising with businesses. The government keeps saying they will listen to proposals that are put forward. Sources that I've spoken to within a number of industries say they are submitting those proposals. We don't know for sure what exactly the plan will be from the government as they move forward. What we do know is that this is a global crisis. This is something that has affected countries around the world, and the government will want to mitigate this in some way. It's tricky territory for a government that isn't too keen on intervening in markets. We know that already, but they will want to find a way to make this slightly easier moving forward.
Shihab, thank you. Lebanon found out what it's like to lose all power today when the national grid shut down completely. The country has faced power cuts for weeks, but today its two biggest power stations reportedly ran out of fuel. Officials say it will be several days at least before power can be restored. And 2 people were found alive today in the rubble of a 7-storey apartment block that collapsed in Georgia yesterday. Search and rescue operations are continuing for one missing person. At least 8 victims have been found dead, including 3 children. BT has won the backing of the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, for a proposed phone service to help women who are out alone. It will come in the form of an app which would track users and check they have arrived at their destination safely. BT's boss said he wants to do something practical after being disgusted by the murders of Sarah Everard and Sabina Nessa. But critics argue the app fails to tackle the actual problem, male violence. Lucy Watson reports.
The feelings of anxiety a woman endures when she walks home alone may never change. And every fear ever felt was compounded by the murders of Sarah Everard and Sabina Messer. Their brutal deaths sparked outrage and disgust. In light of these tragedies, there are now suggestions for a new emergency phone number to protect anyone who feels vulnerable, not just women and girls.
The new service would let you opt into an app, or you could text or dial the number 888, and that would start GPS tracking. That would then trigger a warning if you didn't get to your intended destination on time, and at any point you could send an instant alert.
The boss of BT is behind the idea, and the system could be up and running by Christmas.
People are very scared in the wake of what has happened, especially living around here and knowing that it's kind of your route home. So I think anything that will help to protect you is a really good idea.
I don't think it's, the best thing in the world that women have to change their behaviour, but that seems to kind of be the situation that we're in.
From one perspective, yes, it's not fair to expect behaviours to have to change, but also I think it's, from the other point of view, at least there's opportunity for women to have another resource at their disposal.
But many believe the solution to male violence is not further surveillance of women.
I don't want the onus to be on women to keep themselves safe. It doesn't matter what we do, what numbers we call, what time of day or night it is, we can't be confident that we will get home safely. And until we make sure that men no longer attack women, and we don't need gimmicks like 888 numbers, then women aren't going to be safe.
So innovation must work with education to make real cultural change. Lucy Watson, ITV News.
Britain's new teenage tennis star Emma Raducanu has come crashing back to work.
I'm all right down here.
Her first professional match since her 10 straight victories at the US Open.
You like your thing, boy?
The 18-year-old lost in straight sets.
She lost that English girlfriend.
The Indian Wells tournament.
Indian one.
Our correspondent Robert Moore reports.
There was
the English girl.
As the US Open champion took to the court
She won
for her first match since that stunning success in New York. But Emma Raducanu was visibly frustrated early on. And the Belarusian player Alexandra Sasnovich quickly took control.
Brilliant from Sasnovich.
Raducanu didn't lose a set in her 10 matches at Flushing Meadows, but here in Indian Wells in under 90 minutes, she lost the match.
That's a fine victory, Alexandra Sasnovich.
But afterwards was determined to look on the bright side.
Nah, it's going to take me time to adjust really to what's going on. I mean, I'm still so new to everything, like the experiences that I'm going through right now, even though I might not feel 100% amazing right now, like I know that for the greater good and for the bigger picture, I'll be thanking this moment. So yeah, that's the lesson. I think that you can easily get sucked into just being so focused on the result and getting disappointed. But I mean, I'm 18 years old, I need to cut myself some slack, so...
Afterwards, fans told her she shouldn't be discouraged. What would your message be to Emma Raducanu tonight?
Oh, hang in there, sweetie. You're talented, you're wonderful, and we're behind you for the future. I just think that sometimes these kids have these great triumphs so soon, and then they get a lot thrown at them, and it's maybe a little too much, too soon.
But her future is still tremendously bright.
Tremendously bright. She's a great athlete. She'll do well.
That defeat last night will not be judged too harshly because Emma Raducanu has always made clear that her approach to tennis is to enjoy it and to learn. And now she can gain valuable experience on the WTA Tour. But there was success here for Britain. Andy Murray followed Raducanu onto centre court here and quickly won. And yes, his wedding ring, which had been found again, was still attached to his trainers. Raducanu will now regroup, saying that from defeat she will learn the most. Robert Moore, ITV News in Indian Wells, California.
In the Women's Super League, there was drama in the Manchester derby today. City put a poor start to the season behind them, rescuing a point in a thrilling 2-2 draw against United. Chris Scudder reports.
For a team who haven't finished out of the top two for 6 years, Man City didn't much like being second best in their own city. 3 defeats in a row was nothing to bang on about. But this was much better, and only Mary Earps in the United goal kept them out. Then it was uphill again. England's Georgia Stanway was sent off.
That was very high. It's a red.
Despite being a player down, City rose to the occasion and took the lead. But 3 defeats on the bounce suddenly threatened to become 4. United equalised, and moments later they were ahead through Alessia Russo. City looked down and out until this. England's Ellen White coming off the subs bench to save the day. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
In today's World Cup qualifiers, Scotland have a chance to move closer to a playoff place in their group. They're playing Israel at Hampton Park, and in a dramatic match, it's currently 2-2 in the second half, with Scotland twice coming from behind to equalise. In the other qualification matches, Wales drew with the Czech Republic yesterday, and both Northern Ireland and England play tonight. The England game will go ahead despite a fire inside the stadium in Andorra. A television gantry went up in flames at the side of the pitch yesterday, shortly after England finished training there. No one was hurt. Tonight's match will be the first England men's game to be refereed by a woman. Ukrainian Katerina Mosul will officiate. Both of tonight's assistant referees are also women, as well as the VAR official. Coverage of the match starts at 7 o'clock here on ITV and STV. And that is it. We're back with the late news at 10:45. Until then, have a very good evening. Bye-bye.
Today will be lovely and warm everywhere. But don't expect it to last for too long. Heinz Spaghetti Hoops sponsors ITV National Weather.
Hello, a very good evening to you. As we head through the rest of the weekend, it's not looking too bad. However, out there at the moment, we do have the remnants from the front that was across the northwest over the last 22 hours. That's making its way southeastward, but the rain has largely fizzled out, but we'll be left with a good deal of cloud cover across many southern parts. In these areas, temperatures staying in double digits, but ahead of it and also behind it with clearer skies, I wouldn't be surprised if rural temperatures dip down to 2 or 3 degrees, particularly across Scotland. So as we start Sunday, it's going to be a pretty fresh start to the day, but a fairly fine one in many areas. A good deal of sunshine really from the word go. And you can see the cloud down towards the south and southeast. It will take a little while to clear, but it does clear as we head into the afternoon. So a fairly bright Sunday all round. Temperatures still above average for the time of year. Highs of 19 in the south, more like 14, 15, maybe 16 degrees Celsius across the north. And as we head into next week, it's fairly settled with a few showers here and there.
Heinz Spaghetti Hoops sponsors ITV National Weather.
There are little things we can all do to look after our mental health.
A short walk works for me.
I talk about my worries. I'm trying a new hobby.
I do something for myself.
Search Every Mind Matters for a free mind plan to see what works for you.
The £11 million lotto jackpot must be won this Saturday. It could be you. Play our app, online and in-store. Lotto from the National Lottery.
Right now, there's 15% of our best-selling hearing aids at Boots Hearing Care, so you won't miss out on the little things.
You look lovely.
They're rechargeable too, and Bluetooth enabled so you can easily make hands-free phone calls. And they come with interest-free monthly payments. Let's get Britain hearing better for less. Book your free appointment today at bootshearingcare.com. Boots. Let's feel good.
Find out your home's value instantly.
Enter your postcode now for your free online valuation estimate. Visit onthemarket.com. Scottish Widows, taking on your future together.
Frank hasn't just nailed the romantic mill. Ta-da. He's only gone and cinched it. Just like he cinched his motor. Cinch is the easy way to buy a car online. There's thousands to choose from, all quality checked, with free home delivery and a 14-day money-back guarantee. So you can be certain you've absolutely cinched it. Where's dessert? Okay, it's coming. Buying a car? Don't just nail it, cinch it.
Ready to upgrade your foundation? Superstay 30 Hour from Maybelline, New York. Defies transfer and water. Full coverage. Get light as air. Up to 30 hours. 85% would switch to Superstay. Maybelline Superstay 30 Hour. Recognized by the British Skin Foundation. A chilled treat for the whole family. Kinder Milk Slice. A deliciously fluffy, milky filling infused with a hint of honey, sandwiched between two sponge layers. Kinder Milk Slice, delightfully chilled. Everywhere I go, they find my style. When I put on a show, they find my style. They won't deal in me. Give me some of that fire. Discover new ways to wear your charms with Pandora.
At Innocent, we might make little drinks, but we have big dreams. Dreams of everyone getting the fruit and veg they need to live well. That's why we're partnering with the Felix Project to help provide 1 million free meals, including fruit and veg, to those who need it most. How'd you like those apples? Or onions? Innocent. Little drinks, big dreams.
And now with a look at what stories are making the headlines where you are today, here's the ITV News.
Good evening. Some patients at Derriford's A&E department had to wait almost 15 hours for treatment today as the NHS in Devon warns it's under significant pressure. Record numbers of people are attending emergency departments in the county. Health bosses blame staff absences, increased demand and a shortage of beds. They also say some people are using the service when they don't need to.
If you need an emergency that needs to go to emergency departments, of course go there. But if there are things that you're struggling with that you might be able to go to a pharmacist or your GP or dial 111 or go online with, then try those first. And actually that means that when people do need the emergency department, we've got more capacity and the staff are more able to meet their needs quickly.
More than a fifth of rubbish ending up at landfills in Cornwall could have been recycled, according to the council. Various materials like metal, cardboard and clothing can be recycled at the county's dedicated sites. People are being encouraged to sort through their rubbish and make sure they aren't missing items that can be put in their own recycling bins. Next this evening, they've cycled the length of the country in 12 days, visiting every Premiership rugby club. Well, now today, two friends ended their fundraising bike ride in Plymouth. Matt Price and Mark Ward have been raising money for the Motor Neurone Disease Association. Claire Manning went to speak to them.
This was Matt and Mark arriving in Plymouth, jubilant but quite frankly shattered.
It's been a very, very long trip, very hilly. Yeah, certainly feeling it today.
Tired but emotional?
Very emotional. I mean, we came to have the reception that we had coming back into Elverton was phenomenal, and I started welling up as soon as we got to the gates here.
In just 12 days, Matt from Bristol and Mark from Plymouth have cycled 850 miles from Newcastle to Plymouth, visiting all 13 of this season's Premiership rugby clubs, and they've done it for the Motor Neurone Disease Association in memory of a close friend.
we're doing it in memory of Simon, who passed away 10 years ago, and we wanted to do something to continue his legacy to raise £1 million for charity. So every day has been emotional. We've met somebody who's been directly or indirectly affected by MND, so that's kind of hit home as to why we're doing it.
Simon Adams was their rugby club chairman who died from MND. This is Simon with his wife Maxine. One of Simon's wishes was to raise £1 million to help fund research into motor neurone disease.
One of Simon's big things was not just to raise money, but to raise awareness as well. I think one of his things was that if anyone in future is diagnosed, he wanted them to be told that there actually is a cure as well, and not just that, you've got motor neurone disease and that's it.
Matt and Mark hope to get their Just Giving page to £15,000 with this ride and by auctioning signed Premiership rugby shirts collected along the way. But for now, time for a beer and a toast to the memory of their much-missed friend, Simon. Claire Manning, ITV News.
Oh, good for them. OK, on to sport now, and in rugby this afternoon, Exeter Chiefs thrash Worcester Warriors 42-5 in the round 4 of the Gallagher Premiership. More than 12,500 people attended Sandy Park to see Sam Simmons mark his return with 2 tries. Celebrations have also been taking place off the pitch for the Chiefs. Club legend Gareth Steenson was awarded the Freedom of Exeter in a special ceremony at the Guildhall earlier this week. He joined the club from the Cornish Pirates in 2008 and went on to make more than 300 appearances. All over in football now, Plymouth Argyle go to the top of League One with a 2-1 victory over Burton Albion at Home Park. In League Two, Exeter City extended their unbeaten run, drawing 2-2 against Stevenage. The Grecians drop outside of the playoff spots. Meanwhile, in the National League, Torquay United had a disappointing trip up to Bromley, losing 2-0. Yeovil Town were also left frustrated after a 2-0 defeat to visitors Notts County, and Weymouth also failed to clinch their away game, losing 2-0 to Halifax Town. OK, time to take a look at that all-important weekend weather now. Here's James Wright with your forecast.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV West Country weather.
Hi there, good evening. The weather over the next few days pretty settled, but unfortunately that doesn't always mean sunny. High pressure moving into position. Just got this little front that's sneaking its way across us over the next few hours. But once that passes, well, high pressure dominates. But as you can see, we've got this weather system just sneaking over the top side of it. So that's where the cloud is going to be coming from over the next few days. But like I say, overnight tonight, we've just got what's left of this weakening band of cloud. It's not really any rain on it. You might see a little bit of mist and murk, particularly up on the higher ground, Bodmin, Exmoor and Dartmoor. The cloud, though, stops things getting too chilly, remaining in double figures pretty much throughout. And as far as tomorrow goes, pretty decent start to the day. A little bit grey for some, but actually things improving nicely as that front pushes out into the channel. So more in the way of sunny spells into the afternoon. A little bit of a strengthening breeze, particularly for Cornwall there. But actually not feeling too bad with that autumn sunshine, topping out at 18, maybe 19 if you're lucky, but that could be a bit of a push. Next few days, though, generally the same. High pressure and any sunny spells are bonus.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV West Country weather.
Well, that's all we've got time for today, but there is plenty more news on our website. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 10 to 7. But until then, whatever you're doing, enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
All right, my little cherry picks from day at school.
His love will kiss us out of bed in the morning. Fall in Love with the Larkins. Brand new drama. Starts tomorrow at 8 on ITV and ITV Hub.
Forensics reckons he was hiding in that corner all night. He's leaving DNA, but he doesn't care. He's not in the system and he knows it.
For dinner, Ashley prepares a herby salmon tray bake. Despite the fact that today, she's had a mare.
That's not how you wear a jumper. That's it.
Could this day get any worse?
What's for dinner?
Oh dear.
Fear not, because Tesco has got loads of quick and tasty meals, like this delicious tray bake.
Can I start?
That's dinner sorted.
Food Love Stories, brought to you by Tesco.
By getting a smart meter, you're helping modernise Britain's energy system, so it can use more renewable energy, like wind power.
Smart meters. Join the energy revolution.
The Argos Furniture sale is now on. Save up to 20% on selected Argos furniture. Life's here. Be ready. Argos.
With Vodafone Evo, you can get the latest smartphone on the UK's unbeatable network for reliability.
She'll be here in a minute. Just be yourself, Des.
Vodafone, the UK's unbeatable network for reliability. Together we can.
Back in the day, we named it Cookie Dough. But we should have named it Cookie Dough. Because it's crammed so full of fair trade cookie dough and free grazing theory, it's hard to keep a lid on. Ben & Jerry's. Peace, love, and cookie dough.
Playing People's Postcode Lottery is easy peasy. Sign up once with your postcode and that's your lottery ticket.
Yeah, you pay a tenner a month and that gets you into every single draw and you can play as long as you like. And this is the best bit. With that £10, players get a chance to win cash prizes every single day.
And 4 out of 5 players won over £190 million in prizes in 2020. That's real people.
Helping real charity.
And winning real money.
This is one almighty sale, so no slacking. You don't want to miss these huge double discounts at SCS. This sofa's reduced to only $3.99, but not for long. This one's $5.99, but the saving must end soon. There's huge double discounts on carpets, and the fitting's free. Plus, everything's free for a year with 4 years free credit. Hurry! Double discount shows like this $2.99 sofa must end soon at SCS.
Just because the seasoning and flow's already active. Only 4 years. Fantastic. Young veteran. New classic.
Every home should be a haven. IKEA, the wonderful everyday. My friend, aren't you glad it's raining? Sunshining? Total eclipsing? The perfect time to hit up. Just eat. For a Costa coffee. Grab it. Starbucks. With your favorite latte, avocado of St. Tom's baguette, caramel macchiato. So order now, like whenever, or right now. Because whatever you want, you crazy cat. Costa, press Starbucks. We got it.
If somebody say just eat.
Now on ITV, can England move a step closer to next year's World Cup finals? Here's Mark and the boys with tonight's live match. Champion of the sword. That's why we're standing here, and they come on to the list.
You want to touch him? Do you want to touch him?
We should have saved our last penny for the blacksmith.
Now, I can't pay you now, but I promise you I will.
No! Money!
Excuse me.
Cash first, not promises.
God! Excuse me, sir.
Are you might try the ferry?
A woman? Beggar skin of beet shooters, my lord. Thank you. Excuse me.
Got work for free.
And I can't joust with broken armor.
Your problem, not mine. Each drop of this sweat has a price on it.
Just as well. They told me I would start breathing asking.
Who?
Oh, the other armies.
Did they say I couldn't do it because I'm a woman?
The fact that you're a woman wasn't even mentioned.
Tax me hot wine! Tax me hot wine! Tax me hot wine! Tax me hot wine!
Lady, I will win this tournament for you.
Nay, I will win for you.
My lady, may I present Count Adhemar, winner of the joust in France and high champion in Saint-Emilion.
All such moments forgotten, and standing before the most beautiful woman in Christendom.
Do you only pretend to fight, Count Adhemar? Or do you wage real war as well?
I am leader of the Free Companies. My army's in southern France, for the moment.
Jeff, she's my lady.
Oh, jeez, you aim too high.
Oh, if there's another way to aim, I don't know it.
Concentrate.
What should I say to her?
What do you think of the joust?
It's very abrupt. But I'm afraid I don't understand the rules.
Then I shall educate you. A match is 3 lances. 1 point is awarded for breaking a lance on a man between the waist and neck. 2 points for breaking on the helmet. It's difficult. The helmet sweeps back, most blows glance off, leaving the lance unbroken. And 3 points for bearing a rider to the ground. Also, should you bear a rider to the ground, you win his horse.
And do men die in the joust?
The lance's points are tipped with coal balls as blunts them. Of course, accidents happen. I myself, Jocelyn, have never been on a horse.
Nor have I.
Your name, lady. I still need to hear it.
Sir Hunter, you persist.
Or perhaps angels have no names, only beautiful faces.
And you are?
Well, I am,
You've forgotten? Or your name is Sir
Ulrich von Liechtenstein from Gelderland.
Oh, I forget it well. What about it? Your armor, sir.
What about it?
How stylish of you to joust in an antique. A startling fashion if you win. My grandfather will be able to wear his in public again. And a shield. How quaint. Some of these poor country men, little better than peasant.
Second son of Sir Wallace Percival, 3rd Earl of Warwick, my lords, my ladies. It is with honour I introduce my liege, Sir Thomas Colville.
You're good. You're very good.
My lords! My ladies! And everybody else here not sitting on a cushion! Today, you find yourselves equals. equally blessed. For I have the pride, the privilege, nay, the pleasure of introducing to you a knight sired by knights, a knight who can trace his lineage back beyond Charlemagne. I first met him
Oh,
upon the mountain near Jerusalem, praying to God,
They've got the light off here, mate.
asking his forgiveness for the Saracen blood spilt by his sword. Next, he amazed me still further in Italy when he saved a fatherless beauty from the would-be ravishings of her dreadful Turkish uncle. In Greece, he spent a year in silence, just to better understand the sound of a whisper. And so, without further gilding the lily, and with no more ado, I give to you the seeker of serenity, the protector of Italian virginity, the enforcer of our Lord God, the one, the only, Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein! Thank you, I'll be here all week.
Well, that was different. Well, it's time we celebrated our differences.
Just maybe not in public.
Yes, Master Valhurst, I'm well aware a good fonging is on the way.
Oh, yeah.
Now I got their attention. You go and win their hearts. Very good. Was she watching? Jet, what? Did she see me? Yes, she saw you. Did she see me take the hit? Yes, she saw you take the hit. Or was she concerned? It was dreadful. Her eyes welled up. It was awful. Colville has perfect technique. I've never seen him before.
Right. This Liechtenstein. His technique, rudimentary style, non-existent still. He's fearless.
Fearless? How so?
Slit in a helmet's visor is narrow and splitters can penetrate it. Most knights raise their chins in the last instant. You lose sight of your opponent and you protect your eyes. This Ulrich doesn't.
He keeps his eye on the target. A true hunter.
I'm through. But, I've never not finished before. I wish to keep my honor intact.
Colville withdraws. Ulrich advances. Why didn't Ulrich finish it?
He shows mercy.
Then he shows his weakness. That's what mercy is.
For the love of Victor William goes to sleep. I can't. Love has given me wings, so I must fly. I can't explain it. She makes me feel like a poet.
Well, you may feel like a poet, but you sound like an idiot. You don't even know her name.
Her name is Aphrodite. Calypso. Venus, take your pick.
Women weaken their heart. Without your heart, you cannot live. Concentrate.
Dedicate. Blood.
Count Ademar sends word. He said he will win this tournament for you. He's won many tournaments. He wins them for himself and for his own honor, so it's nothing to say he wins them for me. He wishes to speak to you again. Not to hear what I say. Ademar wants his woman silent. Would you have Sir Ulrich win this tournament for you? No. And he is the only knight that has not promised to do so. Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein. I would have him win my heart.
It looks extraordinary. Can we go in? We go in the giant door built for giant people, built for gods. What? No?
Do you mind going away for ages?
Find tons of different shows on the UK's biggest free streaming service, all four.
Play Set for Life from the National Lottery and Smash Life. Win £10,000 every month for 30 years. Play Set for Life on app, online and in-store. Smash Life with Set for Life from the National Lottery.
Herbal Essences. Feel what's real. Our repair collection doesn't just have argan oil. It has Q-certified, real, legitimate Moroccan argan oil. Cold pressed, drop by drop. Herbal Essences. But for 2 times more nourished hair. Hair's so soft you can't stop feeling it. Herbal Essences with pure plant essences. Bottled in 100% recycled plastic. When it's real, you feel it. Master the unpredictable with the new Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. Safety in all weather, all year round. Now available at QuickFit. Book now at quickfit.com or visit your nearest center.
No matter what you use to fight a cold, you could add Vicks Vapor Rub to help relieve your blocked nose, sore throat, congestion, and cough due to cold. To help you sleep like a baby. Vicks Vapor Rub.
Piling up. This room smells like an armpit.
You think you got briefs? Well, I'm running out of briefs.
And the weatherman says no sun. No sun at all.
Who needs the sun when you have new Lenore Outdoorable to give your laundry that line-dried freshness? Whatever the weather, new Lenore Outdoorable. Fresh as if dried outside.
Some say I'm the world's greatest thief. Perhaps I am. Everything I own, I've stolen. But there's one thing I won't steal. Legend said it's protected by the devil. Believe me, you don't want to steal from him.
Within your hands, you have the power to launch a rocket into space. To see the world in all its splendor. Or just see what Beryl looks like with a really, really tiny nose. Even laughing with a mate needs 99% media coverage.
Just been 40 years.
Life needs a big network.
The thing about being a parent is that you'll never stop worrying, but you'll always find a way to help. My Tutor, the UK's most trusted tutoring platform.
This is it. I have to fix this.
We've only just begun. At every step, by your side. Lloyd's Bank, by your side.
Anything that seems out of place probably is.
Get your timeline, get your people.
Look at that. Check it. He's hiding something. Suspect number one, definitely.
One team will be leaving this investigation.
Could you catch a killer? Murder Island continues Tuesday at 9:15 on Channel 4. Stream the series so far on all 4.
Lovely. Count Adamar. I don't think I've ever seen him lose.
No, but defeat him and you'll see it firsthand.
My liege! Sir Ulrich! Christiane.
My lady bids you wear this token.
Of course.
She also said to tell you. Her name is Jocelyn.
Au revoir.
Concentrate.
No, whatsoever. Oh, there's an anvil. Oh, he hits like a hammer. It's amazing.
But not perfect. He aims high on your chest. Roll your shoulder back when you strike it. Blow may glance to your right.
Oh, if he strikes on the right, if he strikes me on the left, I'll be obliterated.
Oh, as I say, what a gamble.
Someday, I'll be a knight.
That's your son, a knight. You might as well try to change the stars.
Can it be done, Father? Can a man change the stars?
Yes, sweetie. He believes enough a man can do anything.
Gain more bearing, Ulrich. See me again when you're worthy. Oh, you and all of your own! Well done, my lord! Well done! Go and see to Ulrich. Go and see to Ulrich. Well done, my lord! Noble victory.
The lady, I believe this is yours.
For long spear on foot, Pandolfo Malatesta. For sword on foot, Ulrich von Liechtenstein. And finally, for the mounted joust and tournament champion, Adamar Count of Anjou. I present to you your champions.
Next time I face you, Count Adamar, you'll look up at me from the flat of your back.
Please. You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting.
Keep winning the sword and we'll be rich.
I won't compete in the sword again.
It's your best defense.
No, it's tournament champion or nothing at all. $10 florins. That should do.
It's 6s and 7s tonight, Chaucer. Do you feel lucky? Do you wear enough clothes?
Go on, be gone, I'm done with you. Except to exact my revenge.
What on earth could you possibly do to us?
I will eviscerate you in fiction. Every last pimple, every last character flaw. I was naked for a day. You will be naked for eternity.
I have a feeling we shall meet again.
Okay, Ferris. Take what we owe you.
The armor you wear, it wasn't made for you, was it?
So what of it?
I could make such armor you wouldn't even know you wore it.
And how much would that cost me?
Just take me as far as Paris.
We travel alone. Take your gold and go. Get what you can out of that. The rest of us will pack camp.
How we leaving so soon?
Tournament at Lagny-sur-Marne starts in a week. We leave now, we can walk most of the way and save the horse.
No, you have to go to the banquet tonight. You have to dance. You have to make an appearance.
Oh, and have Adamar laugh at me again? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No.
Yes.
No. Yes.
No.
My lady would know the color of your lord's tunic tonight.
His tunic?
Yes, so that she can dress to match him.
We regret to inform your lady that we won't actually be attending.
Harold, do not answer questions you don't know the answer to.
Absolutely, my lord.
Squire, answer her. What, color is my tunic tonight?
Green. Trimmed in a kind of pale green, with wooden toggles.
I will tell my lady.
Oh, this is a disaster.
Oh, it'll tune it up quite nicely. Give us your dagger, Watts.
That's not a disaster, Roland.
I don't know how to dance.
And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And your hands shoot the light like a birdie on the branch. And 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And what doesn't lead, he follows like a girl. And 1, and 2, and twirly, 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 and 2, and you still get it wrong. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. You can hit me all day, 'cause you punch like a what?
A girl.
That's enough of that! Get back from me! Get back! He's got every time!
Oh, and you can do better, can you?
Of course I can.
Good. Why don't you show us then?
No.
No. If I'm going to all this effort, you best learn to dance. Now ask her nicely.
I'm sorry, Kate. I was wondering if you would care to show us how to dance. Please. Please.
And 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Change part is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Polonaise and 1. You're not gonna wear your hair like that, are you?
Is there another way?
Sir Ulrich, you look fantastic.
Jocelyn, you look... You remind me of the Bible. When God stopped the sun in the sky at Gibeon to give Joshua more time to defeat the Amorites.
I don't understand.
If I could ask God one thing, it would be to stop the moon. Stop the moon and make this night, and your beauty, last forever.
So what dance will you have? A Caranto? Or a Bassa dancer?
Sir Ulrich, why don't you show us all a dance of your country? Show us a dance of Gelderland.
Oh.
Yes, Gelderland.
Well, it's a lot like Farandor, but with some differences. Well, you should bow. light, taking you nowhere. Look at that sky, life's begun. Nights are warm and the days are young. That's my feeling, lost my soul. What I'm making you see, last night they loved you, opening doors and pulling some strings. They walked up and you looked in time, never looked at what tall and my way. How sweet will you baby for 1,000 years? Touch you in these golden
What?
I don't know. It's too small. It's too light.
He'll be crushed, killed.
No, I found a new way to heat steel. It's thinner, smaller, but just as strong.
One of these.
The marks of my trade. Should another knight admire the armor. Twist, bend, feel the movement.
Oh, but eventually I will be struck.
And then death.
Do you at least have the courage to test it?
Are you all right, Will? I didn't feel a thing.
You don't mind if I check the music?
On the surface, this family looks so perfect.
I think they're hiding things from me.
I don't remember anything.
Frightful drama.
What is it?
Close to me. Coming
That's
soon
not
to
a
Channel 4
probably good.
and All 4.
Coco Mademoiselle, Chanel.
Are you ready? Because it's time for our big autumn price drop. That's right. Our super fast fiber with speed, strength and security is now a super low $24.99 a month. But you better move fast because this offer ends on Thursday. So for brilliant broadband at an even more brilliant
Every
price,
time I look at
why
that
choose
calendar,
anyone
it
else?
reminds me of your
Join BT today.
bright smile. Bright smile, then.
Calling all Big Mac fans. The Double Big Mac is here, but only until the 16th of November. Don't miss it.
Enjoy Metroid Dread on the vibrant screen of the new Nintendo Switch OLED model. Metroid Dread. Out now only on the Nintendo Switch family of consoles.
We believe that working together makes anything possible. So imagine if when you did this happened. Carlsberg has partnered with WWF to plant seagrass, which can absorb carbon faster than a rainforest. Does that make our beer taste even better?
A great man doesn't seek to leave. He's called to live.
Dune in cinemas October 21st. Book tickets now.
At Wilco, we're all about the little wins, like making every dinner a winner. Like stocking up on essentials for uni. There are little wins for little dogs, and big dogs too. And we've got a shed load of storage solutions. Well, you can't win at everything. Wilco, lots of little wins.
When we all play the National Lottery a little, fun stuff happens near you. From community sports to keeping our beaches clean and safe, and bringing history to life. Then there's funding museums for all to enjoy. Supporting inspiring music programs. And helping people explore the great outdoors. Thanks to National Lottery players, £30 million a week goes to good causes. The National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen.
Get ready for a night of fabulous entertainment.
All in aid of this year's Stand Up to Cancer. There'll be famous faces,
Comedy,
music,
and surprises.
help us raise millions of pounds.
To kick cancer's off.
Join us live
On Channel 4.
Stand Up to Cancer, 7:30 Friday on Channel 4 and All 4.
What's the name of that night?
Piers Courtney. He's raised the taxes on his land 3 times this year to pay for the tournament. These people starve while he sits at banquet.
Lovely trip.
My lord the Count Adamar, son of Philip Dimitri, son of Gilles, master of the Free Companies, defender of his enormous manhood, a shining example of chivalry and champagne. Nice work. My lords, watch every move Adamar makes. If there's a weakness, we'll find it.
The Culver looks fit. It should be good.
Finally, second son of Sir Wallace Percival, it is my deepest honour to present to you the second.
It's Edward, my lord. They're sure of it.
Third, the point I give you. Cable. Gracias, Sir Thomas Colville.
Adamar withdrew.
A draw like that can mean only one thing.
Royalty. I'll see what I can find out.
Prepare to drop the flag.
No, not yet. Not yet. Wait. Listen. Listen. Wait. I must speak with my lord.
Then go. And see if you can beat the second coming, eh?
Wait. Colville is Edward, the Black Prince of Wales, and future King of England.
Well, he's in disguise like me, so complete.
He has never met an enemy without victory. He has never attacked a town he could not defeat.
We're English, Jeff. We know who he is.
You must withdraw, Will. Go tell him, Jeff. They're about to drop the flag.
Absolutely. Give me the lance.
Knowingly endangered a member of the Royal.
He knowingly endangers himself.
Our fort for Ulrich, as it was in Rouen.
And you also, Prince Edward.
You knew me. Still you rode?
It's not in me to withdraw.
Know me. Well, it happens.
Yes, it does.
Good luck with the tournament.
You also.
Winner of the Mountain Joust and tournament champion, Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
Here, round the down, sell it, do whatever you do.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Brilliant! The tournament champion!
I'm not champion until I defeat Adamar. Adamar withdrew.
Sir Ulrich, I've come to see what you'll wear to banquet tonight.
Nothing.
Well, then we'll cause a sensation for our dress to match.
Well, don't you ever get tired of putting on clothes? I believe she's talking about taking them off, my lord.
A flower is only as good as its petals, don't you think?
A flower is good for nothing.
Really?
Well, you can't eat a flower. A flower doesn't keep you warm.
And a rose never knocked a man off a horse either, did it?
You're just a silly girl, aren't you?
Better a silly girl with a flower than a silly boy with a horse and a stick.
It's called a lance. Hello?
What? Adamar's been called back to the three companies. The Black Prince commanded him. He'll be gone on season.
First Jocelyn and now Adamar.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
What?
Yeah, tournament results, Mark.
Dear Jocelyn, my dearest Jocelyn, I miss you. Oh, hold, was that wrong? Well, it's up to you, really. It's your funeral. I mean, let's...
34
Say something
years.
about her breasts. Yeah, you miss her breasts.
4 years
Breasts.
living together.
Yes, you could, but I would tend to look above her breasts, will you?
I miss her throat.
Still higher, really, towards the heavens.
The moon at least. The breasts were not that impressive.
The moon. It is strange to think. I haven't seen you since a month. I have seen the new moon, but not you. I have seen sunsets and sunrises, but nothing of your beautiful face.
Could put it better, sir.
I used to know this girl once who... Well, she broke my heart, but I used to say that
The pieces of my broken heart are so small that they can be passed through the eye of a needle. He writes as though I had died.
Yes, madam. He dies as well. She used to cook for the Duke of York. I miss her like the sun misses the flower.
I miss you like the sun misses the flower. Like the sun misses the flower in the depths of winter. Instead of beauty to direct its light to, the heart hardens like the frozen world your absence has banished me to.
I next compete in the city of Paris. I will find it empty and in the winter if you are not there.
I like it.
And now to finish it.
With hope. Love should end with hope. My husband, God rest him, told me something I'll never forget. Hope guides me.
It is what gets me through the day and especially the night. The hope that after you're gone from my sight, it will not be the last time I look upon you.
And finish it with all the love that I possess. William. You mean Ulrich?
With all the love that I possess, I remain yours. The knight of your heart.
My master hoped you might have something to send him in return.
Cock-a-doodle once, I shall not deny him. Cock-a-doodle twice, I shall not deny him. Cock-a-doodle thrice, I deny him. Thrice he denied him. Thrice the third, it's at the very end. This bird
No, Adama.
throws the life with its
No, Adama. What? What? Tell me, did you see her? Did she read the letter?
Yes, and yes. And?
She's coming to Paris.
Well, did she give you anything for me in return? Did she give you a letter? Or a token? Did she give me a token? She did.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, what is it? What? Come on, give it to me. Yes! Yeah! Hell yes! Yeah, she's, I mean, yeah! Yes! Yes, yes, yes!
Thank God. It's a nice round number.
All right. The wager they wish to make is that a Frenchman and not Sir Ulrich will win the tournament. However, the amount is 50 florins.
Well, that's all we got.
Yes, and if we had 60, the bet would be 60.
Even money, but Ulrich against every Frenchman here.
Oh, come on. He's won 4 tournaments in a row, and once again, Adamar is not.
I check shields too. John Beaumont's here, Count Theobald of Chartres, Philip of Burgundy, all 3 French champions.
An Englishman will not win this French tournament. English legs are unsteady on French soil.
Shut your mouth, all right? Oh, well, took a bet. Win and I can buy my own tavern. I can write full time.
And forage for me.
Yes, it's because French wine is too much for English bellies.
All right, I'm about this only close, mate. I swear to God, what's in my mouth?
Listen, all I want is to go home, and I already have enough to make that trip 100 times. And most importantly, because the Pope himself is French.
Well, the Pope may be French, but Jesus is English. You're on. He won't lose, not with the princess here watching him.
Liechtenstein! Liechtenstein! He's won! He's had! He got from Elderland! He got from Elderland!
Favorite cathedrals?
Come for confession. Found a glass. A riot of colour in a dreary grey world. Don't think.
It's beautiful.
I feel the same way about the letter you sent. Speak to me. Speak those words.
I'm going to win this tournament for you.
Speak to me.
Look, this tournament, I'll win it in your name. Every night I defeat for you. Your beauty will be reflected in the power of my arm, the flanks of my horse.
Wow. Really?
Yes.
Really? It's flanks.
Yes.
I wish to hear poetry, Ulrich.
Oh, well, not ready.
But I am. And why must everything for a woman be run on a man's schedule?
Well, a man's day is fuller. And, well, you see, a man, he has more demands on his time.
Was that so?
Yes. Maybe. No.
I demand poetry. And when I want it now.
Your breast. They're below your throat. Where... Jocelyn, how may I prove my love to you? How?
Do you ask in earnest?
Yes.
If you would prove your love,
Right.
you should do your worst.
My worst. What do you mean?
Instead of winning to honor me with your high reputation, I want you to act against your normal character and do badly.
Do badly?
Lose.
No, losing proves nothing, except that I'm a loser.
Wrong. Losing is a much keener test of your love. Losing would contradict your self-love, and losing would show your obedience to your lover and not to yourself.
Really?
Do not me and spare him. Now be gone. Go! What is your answer?
I will not lose.
Then you do not love me.
The protector of Italian virginity, the last, the thrill thrust, the harasser of Parassa. He gave them hell at La Rochelle, the enforcer of our Lord God, the one, the only, Sir
Oh, his horse's flanks. Maybe where he comes from isn't in snow.
Losing.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
He loves me.
Are you blind? Can you see the flag? Yes, I saw it, okay? I know. You want to drop behind for a more dramatic victory? Look, Jocelyn told me I should lose to prove my love. Oh, God, I'd rather you were blind.
Don't be foolish, Will. Each woman wants proof, that's all.
Proof of what?
Their legs have not been uncrossed for nothing.
Oh, they haven't uncrossed their legs. Well, then why in the name of Saint Sweden are we doing this? Because... Because I love her. That's why it's called gambling.
It's very romantic, though.
You a woman or a blacksmith?
Sometimes I'm both.
That's it!
Calm down.
No one knight has distanced himself with victories yet. If you win all your remaining matches and some of your opponents take key losses, who knows? You could make the semis, even the finals.
Well, at least the armor's proven itself.
And your love? Have you proven that? Yeah. Oh, what you remember Church as a boy? The fear, the passion. That's what she makes me feel. And for that, I say my rosary to Jocelyn and no one else.
William, that's blasphemous.
Oh, then may I burn in hell.
Withdraw. Lose that way. Just don't take any more punishment.
Oh, Roland. Ah.
My lady sends this message. She says that if you love her...
Look, I know, I must lose. Is she not watching, huh?
She says that if you love her, you will not lose another match. She says that if you love her, you will win this tournament.
Anything that seems out of place probably is.
Get your timeline, get your people.
Look at that. Check it.
He's hiding something.
Suspect number one, definitely. One team will be leading this investigation.
Could you catch a killer? Murder Island continues Tuesday at 9:15 on Channel 4. Stream the series so far on all 4.
When we all play the National Lottery a little, fun stuff happens near you. From clean beaches to bringing history to life. Funding museums, supporting inspiring music programs, and helping people explore the great outdoors. £30 million a week to good causes. The National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen.
Bad Boy and the new performer Carolina Herrera.
All set for tomorrow?
All set.
Hiya! Look, Daddy's home! She just won't go to sleep in her bed. How did you do that? Where's the nice sushi?
Come on then. Mr. Magic Touch. Okay, watch out for the boss. Watch out for the boss.
Be watching out for the boss all day.
When life gives you a moment,
You're so busy.
grab it. Nintendo Switch.
I'm busy doing nothing.
At EDF, we're busy helping build Britain's wind, nuclear and solar energy supply to help cut UK carbon emissions to nothing.
Money. I hear villainy is quite lucrative, right, everyone?
Me? I would just use some ground travels. Again?
I'd order the world to ransom with giant robots.